Hey, what's up, everybody? My name's Joey, and when I was a kid, my favorite movie was Star Wars. And my parents used to buy me the action figures. Now, I didn't have a lot, but what I did have, I used to play with them, create my own stories. So fast forward 20 years, I'm in college, and I start collecting again. But not in-depth collecting. I would just go to my local comic book stores and pick up figures here and there, not really focusing a collection or anything like that. And I maybe picked up like 10 figures around there. Some got lost along the way, especially when I moved or became an adult. Things just got lost. So fast forward to today, the pandemic, I decided that I really want to finish my Star Wars collection of the vintage Kenner line. Now, this is the line that goes from 1977 all the way to 1985, right? So you have Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and The Power of the Force, or what some people call the last 15 or the last 17, whoever you talk to. So I looked on YouTube and I saw a lot of people who were showing off their collections, showing off their variants and how they display them and stuff like that. But I never saw somebody actually going through the journey of starting basically from nothing and buying on eBay, buying on Facebook, going to comic book stores or, conventions and trying to find those pieces, even if it's like a little weapon or a cape, to finish off their entire run. So that's what I thought was going to be cool about my journey is, hey, why not document it? And why not show everybody my journey from going from nothing all the way to a complete collection, and even how I display it, what sites I go on, what stores do I go to. I thought it would be cool. So if you watch it, cool. And if not, at least my journey's documented. So there are some rules that we're going to be setting because I wanted to focus my collection, right? Because I've seen a lot of people who collect variants of, let's say, a Jawa. There's 25 million variants of a Jawa from different countries, to capes, to vinyl, to weapons, to everything. So I'm going to focus my collection. So number one, we're going to have my collection is going to be focused from the 1977 to 1985. I'm not going to do the Ewoks. I'm not going to do the droids. It's just going to be from the main three movies and the Power of the Force collection. All right. And I'm going to have all these figures complete, as mint or as in good condition as possible. And like I said, with their capes, with their guns, anything that figure was originally packaged with, that's what I'm going to buy. And that's what I'm going to have on my display in my collection. Okay. I'm not going to do any reproductions, meaning that if I buy a figure without a gun, I'm not going to go to somebody for a reproduction item that was made today. Everything has to be made in that 1977 to 1985 era. It has to come with the figure originally. So that's my first rule. Second is that I'm going to organize all of this into, like a spreadsheet, a checklist. I'm going to show what I need. That way everyone knows how my collection is going to be focused. And then every time I buy one, I'm going to check it off. I'm also going to put how much I paid for it. I'm also going to put if it was from my original collection, or if I bought it, I might even put where I bought it from. But I'm definitely going to put how much that figure cost me, because I want to know how much I'm spending on my collection, because, I'm not a millionaire yet. So, or I don't have $1 million to spend on my collection. So I really want to kind of set a budget for myself, because I don't want to go crazy. I want to be responsible, but I think it's going to be fun for me to go back and finish that collection. So that's number two, is I'm going to organize it, and I'm going to have a spreadsheet, and I'm going to know exactly what I'm spending my money on and how much I'm spending my money on. And I'm also going to research like the market prices, like going to eBay and seeing how much things are being bought and sold for. I'm also going to go to the Facebook groups to see how much things are going for, whether it's in an auction, deal or no deal type of thing, or how much people are selling it like straight out. And number three, I'm going to go through all of my old vintage stuff to see what I have there that's complete. If it's too much of a beater, I'm just going to replace it. But I'm still going to keep those old beaters, because I think it would be cool to display my old childhood collection, just because you can't replace those. Like, I'm never going to get rid of my old Darth Vader beater that I've had since I was a kid, the 1977 version. I'm not going to get rid of that. It has no cape. It has no sword. I don't care. It's valuable to me because that's what I used to play with. But like I said, I'm not going to display it, at least in my main collection, I need to get another Darth Vader. So we're going to go through that later on in the video. And this might be a longer version of a video. So it might be like 10 or 15 minutes. And then my subsequent videos might be like 2 or 3 minutes because I might only buy one figure and check that off the list. So we'll see how that goes. So first off, let's go through and make that spreadsheet. So I think a major portion of my journey is going to be how focused I get on organizing my collection. So I created this, spreadsheet, this checklist, and I'm using Apple Keynote to do it all in. So let's go through it. So my focus is going to be the loose Kenner action figures from 1977 to 1987. And starting off with the movies, here's Star Wars. These are all the figures that I'm going to collect. So obviously you have the R2, Chewbacca, Luke, and there's variations on Luke. And right now I'm only going to be looking for the blonde hair one because I think I've seen like 3 variations. So I'm going to limit my variations, right? You have the Princess Leia, Obi-Wan, Darth Vader. I love this figure. This is my favorite. But here you see Han Solo with the small head. And then here you see Han Solo with the big head. Now, I think that variant is interesting. And the good thing about collecting is that you can I am going to decide which ones I have as variants and which ones I don't. This one I think is interesting. Just like I think the Jawa with the vinyl cape, which is, I researched it. Guys, it is super expensive to buy this one, but I'm going to try to get it. This will probably be like one of the last pieces I do get. But, the Jawa cloth cape. And I have a C3PO. It's not in great shape, but I'm going to put it in my collection until I can find a better one. And then like my Greedo. So let's just go through the list. So right now what we're going to do is when we get it, we're going to check this with a green check or a green box mark. And I'm going to put how much I paid for it. So once I start buying, that'll start getting filled out. The next list, it's just a hammerhead, but this is interesting here. There's a snaggletooth that's red and blue. So this is the first one they made because Kenner, when they were making this figure, they only had a black and white sketch to go from. So this is what he was supposed to look like. And when I do get it, I'll show you guys that it's a pretty short figure. It's like as big as a R2-D2. But they made this guy like a regular size figure. So I'm going to get both of these. I don't consider these variants, but I guess you can say it's a variant. But, Robert Smith, I've never had him. I'm going to love to get him. R5-D4, Death Star droid. I do have this from my childhood, and I'll show it to you. It is super beat up, so I'm probably going to have to get another one of him. But, that's definitely my first figure that I ever owned, so I can't wait to show you guys. And then this right here, the R2-D2 droid from the playset. This isn't actually a figure. It was never sold as a carded figure, but it was sold as a playset where you can actually build your R2-D2. And the thing that makes him different is that third wheel down there. I am going to add this to my collection. I know this is a pretty expensive piece, but I think it'd be pretty cool to have. So, I'm definitely going to get them. And now we move on to Empire Strikes Back. Boba Fett, I've never had him. So, spoiler alert, I am going to have to buy him. Bosk, Bespin Guard. I used to love this when I was a kid. I think I do have one. I'm not sure, but I bet you it's not in pristine condition, maybe. So you never know. And then this is my favorite figure right here. And I think I have 2 of them. They both might be complete, but we'll have to check it out. And then Lando, this is no smile. And I actually have him with the smile. So I'm going to have to get the no smile version. But yeah, you can see another one is the Yoda with the orange snake and Yoda with the brown snake. I think there's enough difference in these 2 characters because I've researched it, and this character right here has a lighter skin than this Yoda. So I think that variant is appealing to me, so I'm going to get them both. Dengar, had him when I was a kid. Don't know if I lost it or not. We'll have to check it out. And these 2 right here, Lobot, I love Lobot. These 2 right here, the Ugnaught and the Ugnaught with the purple. I've only seen these purple ones. I've never seen a blue smock Ugnaught before in my life. So this might be like my mini grail. I don't even know if it exists. I think it might be a color fade where all I've seen is a purple one, that just faded from blue. But if I see one out there in the wild or, on eBay or Facebook, it's probably gonna have to be in person because it's just so hard to I don't know. In my mind, it'll be just so hard to find them because I've never seen a blue one before. I've only seen purple ones. AT-AT Driver, love the way this figure looks. I think I have this one, maybe not in good condition. Never had this one, but I do love the uniform. I do love the way this figure looks. 21B, I've always wanted this one. I think I might have one. It might not have the scepter, so I might have to pick up the scepter. R2D2 with periscope. I do have this one. It's so beat up, and I'll show you later. I do have this one, the Bestman security guard. I used to have this one, but I've lost, him and the small little pieces that he comes with. And this is one of my all-time favorites, the TIE Fighter. I might have this one. I'm not sure. I know I used to have it when I was a kid, and it was one of my favorite figures. Then we move on to Zuckuss and Forlom, who names should be reversed, but they're not. So Zuckuss, I just like this weapon. I've never had him before. I do think he looks cool, like a bug droid. And then we have Forlom, who is a bug, or at least a bug helmet. But yeah, I like the way they look. I think those are going to be fun to collect, and I can't wait to actually own them. And then this is the one I do have, the Smiling Lando. Probably not in good shape, so I might have to get a new one, but you never know. I'll probably just have him in my collection just because he's my original. Move on to the Return of the Jedi. Admiral Akbar, I think I've had like 2 of him. I might still have 2 of them, but I definitely don't have the scepter. Nien Noob, Nunb. I have no idea how to say his name. I'll learn eventually. Always liked the way he looked. Never had it when I was a kid. He never had this Lando, but I've had Bib Fortuna. I think I'm missing the scepter. I think I'm missing his plate, his chest plate that goes underneath. So I might have to get a new one. But these Ewoks, I never played with them when I was a kid. I think I have 2 or 3, but they might be missing, hoods and staffs. I love the way this one looks, the Emperor's Royal Guard. I've always wanted a Gamorrean guard. I just love the way that this figure is so different from everyone else. General Madine, I think I have like 2 of him, obviously not with the staff. I don't know why I have 2. It's such a boring character, but I bought 2 of them when I was a kid. Clay 2, I think I have this guy, but without the skirt, so I'm going to have to pick up the skirt or pick up another Clay 2. Low Gray, don't have him. I've always wanted a Luke Skywalker with Jedi Knight outfit. I think I do have a Luke. It was probably a beater I picked up, at a comic book store, but not with the cape. Definitely not with this blaster, which is probably more than the figure itself, just for this blaster. And his laser sword, it goes for a lot too. And I've always wanted this one. I think it's just a cool get-up with her hood and with that big, the Boosh staff. This guy looks like a G.I. Joe to me. Let me know what you guys think, but this always looks like a G.I. Joe to me. And then Reese, I love Reese. He just looks so different. I don't have the staff, but I do have the figure. So we'll either have to find a new one or just get his gun. Next page, we have Squidhead. Love this figure. Weequay, I think I have him, not sure. 88. I love droids, and I love this. I love the way that this droid looks, so I can't wait to get him. I've seen some pretty good prices for him, so we may just get this figure first, just because I love it so much. Clay 2 and Skiff Guard. Love his weapon. Don't necessarily love the way he looks, but he's in the desert. He's dressed for the desert. Nikto, again, another one of Weequay, Clay 2, Nikto. They all belong in Jabba's palace, so they all look similar. I wish that in the Star Wars line, the marketing people at Lucasfilm and Kenner would have come up with variations, because I don't want to get every character in Jabba's palace. Give me a Grand Moff Tarkin, give me Vader with his helmet that comes off to reveal Anakin, like something like that. But anyways, here's what we got. Droopy McCool, Max Rebo, Snice Noodles, the Max Rebo band. I've always wanted these, so I can't wait to get them. So that's going to be cool for me to finally get these figures. The Emperor, I actually do have, and I actually do have his staff too, which is amazing. ATSU driver, I think that's going to be cool to get. B-Wing pilot, I think this is a great looking figure. Don't have it. Han Solo in trench coat, I have the trench coat. I'm missing Han, and I'm missing the blaster. And by the way, I think I'm missing all of the weapons. So I'm going to have to go on a major weapons hunt, which I've already started looking. and it's hard and they're so expensive. It's less expensive to buy the whole figure, actually, and maybe I can get a more minty figure. Princess Leia Organa in combat poncho. I have this whole thing, even her gun. I'm just missing the helmet, so my figure is in really good shape. I think my mom bought her for me one Christmas when I was in college, so obviously it's in a great condition. I just don't have the helmet. Prune Face. I didn't even know this guy existed until I started doing research again, and Prune Face, and he's a good guy. He's not even part of the Empire. You would think, because the way he looks with an eye patch. We all think of pirates, bad pirates with an eye patch, but Prune Face is a rebel. A Rancor Keeper. This guy should have got an Oscar in The Return of the Jedi. His acting chops are so on point, but I can't wait to get a hold of a Rancor Keeper. I got excited when I looked through my toys, and I'll show it to you. I had a Rancor Keeper, but it was from the 1997 Power of the Force line. Power of the Force 2 line, excuse me. All you Star Wars collectors out there. We'll get into that later once I start collecting the Power of the Force figures. Move on to Tebow. I have this guy, but I don't have the accessories, so might as well just buy a new Tebow in my book, because his accessories will probably cost more than the actual figure. And Wicket. I've always wanted Wicket. I thought he was, a cute, funny character from back in the 80s films. Always wanted him, but actually I never asked for him, or I never found him in the stores. So yeah, we're gonna try to find him. That leads us to the Power of the Force, or what some people call the Last 17. These are the hardest figures to get. Definitely the most expensive on the secondary market. So we have a lot of Ewoks in this collection, in the Power of the Force. We have Lumat, we have Paplu, we have Ramba down here, and on the next page I think we have one more. We have Warrock. So we're going to have to get all of those. I actually do have an Anakin, surprisingly. I do. I think I asked my sister for it for Christmas when I was an adult, and she found it at some toy store for like, $15 and got it for me. A Man. This guy is super expensive. So it's both going to be fun and gut-wrenching to buy him. So is Barada. He's super expensive. All of these are super expensive. So I'm just going to throw it out there. Everything on this page is super expensive. They're like average $300. Average. Right? With like Yak Face probably costing $600. Somewhere around there. I think this is a cool figure. Han Solo in Carbonite. I think that's a really, really cool figure. Imperial Dignitary. Ugh, I'm going to have to collect it, but not looking forward to it, because if I got this as a kid, I would be like, Imperial Dignitary. Okay, so this, I think, is the coolest looking figure probably in the entire Star Wars run, the Imperial Gunner. I just think his helmet's cool. I think his uniform's cool. I think that, he's all blacked out except for that red kind of, I don't know, Battlestar Galactica looking thing. And this would also, if I got this Luke Skywalker when I was a kid in Stormtrooper outfit, I would have loved that. But as an adult, we're going to collect it, and we're probably going to pay a ton of money for it. Who knows? We can see if we can find a good deal. Lando Calrissian and General Pilot. I think this is a sharp-looking character, a figure. Can't wait to get it. Luke Skywalker in Battle Poncho. His helmet does not come off, so that's kind of funny. But and on the last page, R2-D2 with the lightsaber. I've looked at figures of him on Facebook and eBay. This guy goes for a lot of money, so we'll see if we can find some good deals on him. And here's just a reference list that I found that has a lot of the variations. You can see there's 2 Lukes, there's 3 C-3POs, there's 2 different Stormtroopers, 3 different Vaders. I can go on and on. Oh, but right here, this spreadsheet, or this sheet, shows the R2-D2 in the Droid playset. So, glad I collected it. But way too many variants. And when you get down to the page, there's the Jabba and there's all of the droids. I am going to collect Jabba, and I'll show you down in my collection page, why. But Here's my display case that I'm hoping to get. And I think this is going to be a cool case to display it in. So when we start looking for cases, this is just an idea that I have. And I actually contacted the seller to see, you know, if he's still doing it and if he, you know, is still in business. And luckily he is. So we're going to do that. All right. The next thing we're going to do after we complete this loose figure is the loose graded figures. And I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I'll leaf through it. But once I do my loose collection, I am going to get some graded. So grading is when you send it off to a company who will look at your figure and give it a grade. And that grade, if it's a mint figure, a close to mint figure, gets a higher dollar value. And this is great, especially when you start getting into the power of the force figures and you start spending a lot of money on figures. Like, let's just use a Man-O-Man, for instance. If I'm going to pay, let's just say I find one for $250. $250 is a lot for an investment for a toy. And if I'm going to spend that much money, I kind of want to archive it, get it graded. That way, for insurance purposes, if anybody steals it or I lose it in a fire or, you know, if it gets lost in a flood, you know, I can get my money back and replace that figure. So that's the graded stuff. Now, here's what's interesting. The creatures and droids. I am going to buy all of these creatures and this droid right here because I think my collection won't be complete without them. So I'm going to get the Dianoga Trash Monster and I'm going to grade it. Same thing with the Dewback, the Tauntauns. There's a closed belly version and an open belly version. I'm going to get the Wampa, Jabba the Hutt. I do have a Jabba the Hutt, but his left arm comes off. So I want to buy one that's in better condition. That way I can get a better grade on it. And I'm going to get Salacious B. Crumb, the Rancor Monster, which I've always wanted this figure. So I can't wait to see it, you know, displayed in a case and graded. And I've also had this when I was a kid with the Hoth playset, the Rebel playset. But, you know, I think it's going to be cool just to get it on its own and get it graded in a nice acrylic case. And now, which is probably a pie in the sky, we're going to get carded action figures. So I'll skim through these, but these are all the carded action figures that I want to get. And, you know, this is, like I said, it's a pie in the sky. If I find a carded figure for a great deal, one that I really like, I'm going to get it. You know, if I end up collecting them all, great. But, you know, you can't buy one of these for less than $90, right? So, and that's a figure in okay condition, $90. And once you get more into the mint versions where the bubble, the plastic is just great, the card is great, there's no tears or bends in it, then you start getting into the hundreds of dollars. And when you start collecting the Power of the Force ones, which are, you know, almost impossible to find at a decent price, they're all, you know, $300 up. You know, if I can find great deals or if I can find things I just can't say no to, sure, I'm going to get it. And I'm most likely going to get all of these carded figures graded. So that takes us to the boxed creatures and droids. And I do want to get some of these boxed and graded, or at least put into acrylics and display, you know, like a little museum piece. So I think it's cool that, you know, I'm going to both do loose and graded figures and carded figures. So as you can see, the final number is 334. So there's 334 pieces in my entire collection that I have designated. You know, that's going to be my journey. So I think it's going to be fun, but it all starts right here with the Star Wars, going down and checking these off and, you know, seeing what I have. So the next thing we're going to do in this video is we're going to see the ones I actually have and the ones that'll make it into this collection. All right, let's do that. All right, so starting off here, this is my original Luke Skywalker. I love this one. My parents got this for me. So this is the first figure I ever remember playing with. So that's him, Luke Skywalker. And then we have right here my original R2-D2. You can see how beat up he is. And he's actually the sensor scope one. So he's missing his sensor scope. but you can see how beat up he is. I had to glue his leg back on. So yep, there it is, R2. Then we have Ben Kenobi, my original Ben Kenobi. He's missing his lightsaber, missing his cape. Chief Chirpa, he's missing his staff, so we're gonna have to get a new staff for him. IG-88, he's missing his arms, as you can see. Reyes, and he's missing his gun. The mighty, mighty Chewbacca. The mighty, mighty Chewbacca. I love this guy, love this figure. Missing his gun though. Here's 3PO. He is so loose that he can't even stand up. But there's my 3PO. Here's Tebow. So here is Darth Vader. As you can see, he is missing his cape. But I have his cape in this plastic right here because I don't want to put it on or bend it. So there's Vader. Here's Bib Fortuna. Here's Clayton. I'm missing his staff. So that's Clayton. Admiral Akbar. Absolutely love this character. So great. Luke Skywalker. He's missing his cape. He's missing his saber. He's missing his gun. And his nose looks kind of worn down. Here is my original TIE Fighter. General Nadine. He does not have his scepter. And this guy I bought a long time ago for like $7. Haven't even taken him out of his thing yet, but he's missing his gun and his nose is like really worn down, see? Death Squad Commander. He's missing his gun, so I'm gonna have to get another gun for him. 2-1B Medical Droid. He's missing his scepter, so I'm gonna have to find a scepter for him. Here is Hammerhead. He's missing his blaster, so I'm gonna have to find a blaster for him. Smiling Lando. No gun, no cape, so we're probably gonna have to find a replacement for him. And look how discolored he is too. Sun faded. Really played with this guy a lot. Look at his butt fade too. So here's the Emperor, and he actually has his cane. And next we have a Greedo, and this guy is nice, super nice, and he actually has his gun. So that's great. So we don't need to buy a Greedo. We have a very beautiful R5D4. Very, very nice. We have a very good condition IG-88. And he actually has his guns. Great looking figure. And I have a Gonk Droid. At least I have a Snowtrooper. Now look at that. Very, very minty. And he has his cape. I've had this one for a very long time. And I don't know why I didn't take it out of its package. But as you can see, he has everything. Good shape. Okay, so let's go ahead and mark the ones that we already have. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna mark it with a green square. And let's make it a little bit darker. I don't like that color green. Perfect. No, not perfect. There we go. All right. And for the ones that we had, we'll just label it as OG, Original Gangsta. So we'll label it like that. So which ones do we have? We had Greedo. Which ones did we also have? So we also had R5D4. So we're going to mark him. We're going to mark him with an OG tag because we already had him. We know that we had this guy up too. Power Droid. So let's go ahead and mark him with the OG. The other one that we had that was pretty good was IG-88. He's complete with his gun, both guns. So let's mark him with an OG. And let's also mark this guy with a square. And while we're at it, we have another Hoth trooper with the guns. He's minty as heck. So we're going to mark these guys as we already have. And from the Return of the Jedi, we have a pretty good looking Emperor. So let's mark him down with an OG tag. And we'll also mark him with a nice, beautiful square. Can't wait to see all these squares filled out, but you know, we'll get there. We're not in a rush. We are not in a rush. Our Chewbacca was, you know, really, really faded. His belt was, you know, a lot of chips on the belt. We don't have his weapon. Obi-Wan Kenobi, we don't have his saber. We don't have his cape. He's in really bad condition. Darth Vader, even though he was one of the first originals that I had, his cape has tears in it. He's missing his saber. You know, his paint is really faded. C-3PO that we do have, his limbs were really, really loose. Our Death Squad commander, we don't have his weapon. We can probably get a better version of him. Greedo was just immaculate. He has his blaster. He's in great color. His limbs are super tight. Hammerhead, his limbs were super loose. His head's super loose. We don't have the gun on him. R5D4 was just beautiful, immaculate. Luke Skywalker, X-Wing fighter. You know, he was my first toy, so he was pretty beat up. He doesn't have a blaster, and his limbs are just super loose. We have a really good power droid, so let's mark that off. We had a really good IG-88, both weapons. You know, his belt was okay, but, you know, let's not spend any money and get another one. We have a really good example. We have a beautiful Imperial Stormtrooper in the Hoth battle gear with his nice rifle, you know, his super white cape. We have a super white figure. I think is going to be great. Orlando, yeah, he's beat up, has no cape, he has no weapon. And all of these, you know, oh man, this page is just so full, so unchecked. We have a 2-1B. Let's see if we can find a scepter, but if we find a really good deal on 2-1B, his torso that I have is not very clear. So we'll see if we can get another one. And you saw how beat up my R2-D2 with the periscope was. His sticker's missing, his leg is glued on, he doesn't have the periscope. So we're definitely gonna have to get another one of those. Our Imperial TIE Fighter, he's missing both his emblems over there. His paint was really worn off. I'm missing his blaster, so we'll probably have to get another one of him if we can't find a good blaster to replace it. And then again, yeah, we need to replace this Lando. We need to get Admiral Akbar's scepter, you know, but we can probably find a better example of Akbar. Our Bib Fortuna, we're missing his chest plate. We're missing his staff. So if we can find a good Bib Fortuna at a great price, you know, we'll get another one. Chief Chirpa, his paint is really rubbed off. He has his hood, but we're missing his staff. So let's look for another one. General Madine, his paint is really worn off. His hair is really worn off. There's a lot of wear in his gloves, and we're missing the scepter. So I decided that we're going to get another one. And Klaatu also, we're missing his skiff guard, his skiff weapon, and we're also missing his skirt. So let's get another one of those. And Luke Skywalker, we're missing everything. We're missing his cape. We're missing his blaster. We're missing his laser sword. So let's just get another Luke. Plus, he has a lot of rub on his nose. Reuse. I think I have a pretty good reuse. I think I'm going to try to get his weapon. And if I remember, I saw a weapon for $10 on eBay. Maybe we can find a good deal on Facebook. So let's try to do that. And we have an Emperor. I asked my sister for Christmas one year for the Emperor, and she gave it to me, and it had the staff. So that's great. So one more marked off. And I actually have a trench coat for Han, but I don't have Han, so we'll have to get that as well. And like I said, I do have Princess Leia. I think the example I had was put away, so I'll pull her out soon, but I think I just need the helmet. So let's see if we can find a helmet. And I do have a T-bow, but I'm missing everything, so I just decided that I'm gonna get another one. And for these, I thought I had an Anakin, but I actually don't. So I'm gonna have to get all of the last 17, which is scary. This is like my uphill battle right here. So, all right, there's how we're gonna organize it. So as you can see, I have some work to do. A lot of my beaters are not gonna make it, but at least I have some that made it, like my Greedo, like that one. So we're gonna go and join as many Facebook groups as we can, get as many tips and tricks as we can, go to local shops, try to see if we can, build up that collection slowly but surely. And I hope you guys can join me for that journey. I'm gonna be posting maybe once or twice a week. So subscribe, like the videos, that way you can see the next episode. And we're gonna be in search of 2, maybe 3 figures. So check out the next episode and I'll see you guys later. Thanks.
If you're new to the channel, check out the welcome video or just check out the next episode. And please subscribe if you want to follow the journey. And remember, there is no shame in being a Padawan.